And tonight, the state has ordered the company believed to be responsible for this chemical spill to cease and desist and to inspect all its tanks.
Tonight, 300,000 people in West Virginia are being told to stay away from their tap water, not to use it for anything, cooking, bathing, washing, anything at all.
A state of emergency has been declared in West Virginia in the USA after a chemical leak into a river. Drinking water in 9 counties has been deemed unsafe.
In the United States, up to 300,000 people in West Virginia have spent a second night without tap water after a chemical spill into the Elk River. With no end in sight, authorities have been forced to declare a state of emergency.
A chemical spill contaminated the water supply to more than 100,000 customers. That includes homes, businesses, even hospitals.
People are unable to use water for anything. That means no showering, no shaving, no morning coffee, and no idea just how much longer it'll take.
Authorities say 7,500 gallons of a toxic chemical used to process coal leaked into the Elk River on Thursday from Freedom Industries, a company just upstream from a water treatment plant. The toxic spill poisoning the water that serves 300,000 people.
When we don't have water, it creates a serious situation.
Part of what we're doing here, though, is just kind of figuring out the process.
It quickly became clear this was not a boil water advisory. This was something much more serious.
Scientists like me, we can sample streams every day, all day, everywhere, and we do, right? But if residents in these areas aren't aware of it, or if it doesn't become part of what they're conscious of, it has less value. And I can tell other scientists what I'm finding, but again, until the public becomes aware of what's around them, the science has less value. You see how dependent then we have become as a state on our few really clean, productive water sources like the Elk River. And as we lose rivers and their value of drinking water and become dependent on very few, then we become very susceptible to something that would seem like to be a localized event. And instead, that localized event, it touched a third of the state, the residents.
So this is the test run, trying out this little water sensor, put it inside a Gatorade bottle, and it's detecting through 2 screws in the cap of the Gatorade bottle the conductivity of the water. So conductivity of water will change depending on dissolved solids and salts in the water. This Gatorade bottle with this little board in it that slides right in the mouth of the bottle, they put it in a cinder block. The challenge was to keep it secure in the water. So they actually mounted it inside a cinder block, and they just tossed it in, and we're gonna pull it out tomorrow. It's writing every 10 minutes. It's writing the conductivity, the temperature, and the time onto a little memory chip, little SD card. And we'll pull it out and see, A, did it stay dry? Did it work? And B, did it take readings? And can we see the temperature and conductivity change even over 24 hours?
In short, it was a mess. It was a mess. I was lucky. I had water. But that meant I was sort of ground zero for people who needed showers, who needed to fill up water bottles, for people who just kind of wanted a place where they could get away from the no water situation wherever they were and feel a sense of normalcy for a little bit. Our staff, our reporters, their families, many of them, I think nearly all of them, they lived in apartments and in homes where they didn't have water either. So this was a story that they were covering, but they were also experiencing firsthand. When media is directly affected because this is their community, this is where they live, this is where they work, this is where their family lives and works, they were very invested in this reporting process, and it was personal for a lot of them. This was not handled well, in my opinion. And I think a lot of that had to do with the fact we were in uncharted territory. Some of it, I think, of our own making, some of it not. This was a chemical that we knew about and had been a part of the coal industry and the cleaning process for a number of years, but had not been studied very extensively. So we didn't have a lot of information from the scientific community to start with to know.
We have to be protective of that water. I mean, we have to be protective of that water because so much of our state, so much of our businesses, our economy depends on it. It is not just people who care about the environment. They care about the environment because of its value to the people that live here.
What we're doing is making something that could be an early warning system, right? At this point, it's really just about detecting, is something different? Is something weird? Is the water unusually warm? Is it unusually conductive?
Anytime you have media affected directly by what they're reporting, it adds a sense of immediacy and urgency to their job.